Oh, What a Day is a brilliant Barney episode. It's not very nostalgic for me, but it's very educational, it's very understanding, and it's very creative as well. So I have nothing but praise for it. This is the 27th episode of the first season. And as always, I will discuss various things that happen in this to provide an overview of the kinds of things to expect and the things that I think worked really well. And it starts off with Tina having a terrible day. And they try and cheer her up, but they also make sure that she knows it's okay to be sad. And if you want to cry, that's okay too. And then it looks at emotions, and I'll talk about how it does that in a moment in a bit more detail. And we also have a couple of things from the Barney Bag, actually, very creative, and some really great songs as well. The songs might not be that nostalgic for me. There were maybe two, I think, that I knew, maybe even only one. So I did watch it for the nostalgia, but it wasn't very nostalgic. But I love seeing how educational it is. And this is, again, something that can be replicated in-house if parents want to replicate the crafts with children or in the classroom with teachers, because we have two different crafts. The first one involves the children making their own musical instruments to try and cheer Tina up by playing a fun song. And the second involves, well, there are two parts to it. Initially, it involves making feelings faces, where they use paper plates and they have to draw different expressions on plates, which in itself is really great, as it's getting children to think about what expressions mean on other people. If they see a sad face on somebody else, what does that look like? How do they recognize that? And then we have a bit of comprehension as Barney tells them a story about a girl who's moving house, and every time the girl has a sad feeling, the children have to show their sad face, their paper plate. And every time something positive happens in the story, they have to show their happy face. And I thought that was a brilliant way to get children engaging with comprehension, with working out how people feel in different scenarios. It's absolutely fantastic. And of course, the creative element of making these paper plate faces is absolutely brilliant as well. I don't think I mentioned, but the children in this one include Tina, of course. We also have Shawn, Luci, and Min. Baby Bop also appears at one point. And the songs, I will go through the songs, but as I said, they're not very nostalgic for me. We have This Is Not My Day, which Tina sings, of course. Then we have the Pretty Kitty Blues, which is a pretty good song, and the costumes for it are really great. But it's also quite sad because Tina, when she went back into the house earlier in the day, she accidentally forgot to shut the door, and her little kitten went missing. So she's understandably very unhappy. Then we have the Barney Bag, of course, and then we have one, and I apologize if I mispronounce this, but it's the Navajo Happy Song, which is a Navajo traditional song. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And then we have It's Okay to Cry, which I think is a brilliant message. And the one that I knew, If You're Happy and You Know It. It had some variations though, such as if you're angry and you know it, or if you're mad and you know it. I can't remember the exact expression they used, but I like that song, obviously. And then we have When I Get Mad and I Scream, You Scream, We All Scream for Ice Cream, and a song called S01E27 and I Can Laugh. So we have a lot of positive, happy songs, but we have some songs that recognize that it's okay to have other feelings and other emotions. And the episode also made it very clear that you can have more than one emotion in a day, which for young children might not be that obvious. If they wake up in a bad mood, it might seem like they're going to feel that way all day, but actually, as we all know, emotions can fluctuate. And this episode does a great job of highlighting the range of emotions, the fact that it's okay to feel those emotions, and that there are things you can do to try and feel better. And it's absolutely fantastic. It's creative, it's educational, we have some really good songs there, even if they weren't very nostalgic for me. And we end with the most adorable little kitty, because the kitty had apparently followed Tina to school, and it's this tiny little kitten. Absolutely adorable. So I have to say, even though Oh What a Day wasn't very nostalgic for me, I think it's pretty fantastic, very educational, very understanding about the fact that people have different emotions, and so relatable, I think, for all of us, with fluctuating emotions, with some really great tips as well for how to deal with them. So it might not have been nostalgic, but Oh What a Day is still a pretty brilliant Barney episode.